of those public interviews for the new Chief Justice. We've already heard from Judges Mbuyiseli Matlanga and Modidima Mannya. Today it's the turn of Judge Dunstan Mlambo. Let's speak to legal expert, advocate Modidima Mannya about the role of the Chief Justice and what it takes really to get to the top seat of the judiciary. Advocate, good morning to you. Good to have you with us on the South African Morning. We'll talk about what you've made of some of the questions in a moment. First of all, Chief Justice. We all know how important a role it is. It has the big fancy title as well. But why is it such a key position that has to be so hotly contested, A, and so rigorously questioned as well?
Yes, good morning and good morning to your viewers. Look, the position of Chief Justice is a creature of the Constitution, which has created three arms of the state: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Now, the Chief Justice is your equivalent of the president in the executive and your equivalent of the speaker in the legislature. And therefore, it is part of the system, the total constitutional system of our state. And for that reason, it's very important. So it's not like the Chief Justice, as in the past, is like an appendage of something else. It's an independent part and arm of the state.
I want to take you back to one of the questions that was raised when I spoke to Heidi Jokos a little bit earlier, when we were hearing from one of the justices about the judiciary in crisis. One of the responses was, no, the judiciary is not in crisis. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would agree with that. The judiciary is not in crisis. If the judiciary is in crisis, then the entire state is in crisis. I think what we are seeing are the various challenges that keep on cropping up, partly because of the fact that we are not dealing with certain issues that we must deal with. For instance, there's been we have a bit of a history of when people are unhappy with the judges and they make these snide remarks against judges or the judiciary, and that has not been addressed. But that does not mean the judiciary is in a crisis. I think many people now, and the courts are functioning, courts are delivering judgments, people are having access to justice as we speak, and there may be challenges here and there as in any situation. But to even suggest that there's a crisis, it's a bit delusional.
One of the other questions I wanted to get your thoughts on, Advocate, is it was Justice Modidima Mannya that I was talking about the readiness for a female Chief Justice. There seemed to have been some exception taken to the asking of that question. The answer given by the Justice was, well, the Constitutional Court has always been ready, but taking exception to being asked about, are women ready to be in this position. What did you make of the question? What did you make of the answer?
Well, firstly, I thought the question was extremely insulting. You know, Gareth, in 1994, we had one judge, a female judge, Judge van den Heever. And we now have a president of the Supreme Court of Appeal who is not there because anybody did her a favor. She is a capable, competent justice. We have had Justice Kate O'Regan, who came from professorship, and Justice Yvonne Mohoro, who served 15 years in the Constitutional Court exceptionally well. We have had Judge Monica Leo, who's the Judge President of the Northwest Division. And we have quite a number of judges. We have had Justice Sisi Gampepe, a very distinguished jurist. We have Judge Leon Theron in the Constitutional Court and Judge Chitli. So to even ask that question is an extreme insult. You know, it's an extreme insult. Yeah. Let me put it that way. And I fully agree with Justice Manya's response on that.
Just a final brief answer from you, Advocate, if I may ask respectfully on that. Your views on having these interviews done publicly. A lot of people are very much in favor of it. I personally find it fascinating to see how the top legal minds interact with each other. But from an advocate's perspective, agree, disagree with making this public?
No. I think it's good that they are made in public, but I think the JSC needs to, and we need to revise the mechanics of how these interviews are done and the constitution of the JSC and the type of questions that are put there. Let me put it this way. You know, the JSC is male-dominated, and I think that's probably why that question comes. If you look at the delegation from Parliament, which is about 10 people, 7 are males, and these come from political parties. If you check those political parties, they are all male-led. So it's important that the public must have a sense of who are these people. They must understand what the thinking of these people are. They must understand what the responsibilities of these people are, because that is what will also assist us in understanding, in the same way that we understand when politicians go door to door and campaign, and we know, oh, okay, this is the likely MP or the likely councillor. We should be able to say this is the likely judge. As I say, the judiciary is part of is an arm of the state. It's not like an simple administrative department.
Well, I really appreciate your time joining us this morning, Advocate. I certainly hope you and I get the chance to speak again. I've really enjoyed this discussion. Day 3 of the interviews for Chief Justice Advocate Modidima Mannya joining us with his thoughts. Coming up 9 o'clock this morning, by the way, it is going to be live. We'll be checking in with Heidi Jokos as far as the JSC interviews are concerned, and as far as I understand it, we are also live streaming it on eNCA.com. What we're expecting today is Judge President Dunstan Mlambo expected to be interviewed. Looking forward to that.